But still, money and important points to play for these two players. And here we go.
Here we go. It's Blitz. 5 minutes on the clock now per player. And it's the same... until this last move, it was the same opening as the previous game, which did end in a draw. And this time, no open Spanish, as we call it. It's a very closed position with all the pieces still on the board. We now, due to Jordan's last move, we arrive in a position that's going to become about manoeuvring, potentially. Black, the first to castle. White will do the same shortly. And you're happy to see this opening?
Yeah, in some respects I am. I mean, again, it's a long, manoeuvring, very subtle game. And I think the interesting thing is, well, if Liem wins this game, is he going to be a bit annoyed because he could have played this in the game to win the whole tournament? Maybe he shouldn't win this game. But it's always fascinating to see how these top players place their pieces in this manoeuvring battle.
Yeah, and actually, I think it was Jordan who made the first change from that last game.
Okay.
So yeah, Liem. I mean, I just wonder how he's feeling in general, just by taking space there, covering some squares. But how will you feel if you know you were so close from the biggest tournament victory of your life, so much money, such big prize at stake?
Yeah.
It's hard to refocus now on just a Blitz game.
But I have to say, Liem actually has done that remarkably well, because he also did it against Jan Krzysztof Duda. So many times, you know, in their match, he was winning and he failed to win, in fact, even lost at some point. But then when it came to tie breaks, he managed to kind of kick into gear.
I think he's one of the coolest customers, Liem Lee. I mean, when he's in these situations, you can just tell he's just very relaxed, you know. He plays good moves, he plays them quick. I mean, look at him there. You can see there's not really any stress on his face. And he's had a great tournament anyway, so enjoy this last couple of games.
And we have to remember, he is he has a full-time job working for the university as a chess coach. It's quite impressive to perform at this level.
Yeah.
When you also work.
And he's not just a chess coach as well. You know, he's also director of the Webster chess team. So that means that, you know, he's looking for recruitment. He's planning out exactly what they're going to do. So it's not just like, let me rock up and let me train with some of the finest young minds. There's a lot of admin work as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, the reason he's so good at these playoffs is he's a Blitz specialist. He's the former World Blitz champion. I think in, 2012, 2013, he won the World Blitz Championship. And yeah, we've seen him in the playoffs be super fast. The reason he nearly won this tournament is because he even beat Duda in a playoff, in a tiebreak like this one. And, OK, manoeuvring stage is just finished. Just as we come in now, we see a set of trades of pawns in the centre. Things are starting to open up, and Black just shuffling the rook in the middle. It's very, very tense. One slip from either side, and the advantage could swing. First, it's still about improving pieces. Black has an isolated pawn in the middle of the board, but he's trying to trade it off now, trying to trade it off for White's very strong central pawn. Still barely pause from Liem.
Yeah, I think both players are in their preparation, as they should be, in quite a well-known line. Not that I know that, I'm assuming it is. And here, the only danger is that too many pawns will get exchanged off. But the thing is, it's really opening up, and that generally leads to a very exciting game with the pieces still on the board. Can White get the knight to that square we love so much? A knight on f5 will thrive, and Kaya, you were asking about this earlier, actually, that knight getting to that square, and we could see it come towards the black king. I always remember from these kind of openings the famous Kasparov-Karpov matches, and there was some great victories by both players in those really impressive World Championship matches, which mean Jovanka at least were brought up to, really, weren't we? You know, and it's great, you know, to have those memories. Neither
of these players were alive at the time, but I'm sure they've seen those games.
Just don't rub it in, Dave.
Sorry.
Oh dear. Yeah, I know I'm old, but you know,
David wasn't even alive as well.
Sorry,
David wasn't even alive.
Oh no!
I just meant
such a youngster, Dave. You're such a youngster.
I just meant these players. They're very classically educated. They would have studied those slightly older games.
Dig.
But look at the clock time. Suddenly, Jordan, he's frozen. He's gone into the tank. He spent a minute and a half now on this one move, and it's very complicated. It's very tense. Firstly, that shows he's not actually in his preparation anymore. He's on his own. He's got to look at this position with fresh eyes, but also he's stuck for moves. OK, bringing out his bishop, very logical, but temporary pawn sacrifice. Suddenly, Black has won a pawn in the middle of the board. How is Jordan going to justify that, find compensation for that pawn he's given up?
I guess now it's Simon's idea coming into play, you know, perhaps putting a knight onto the beautiful f5 square.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily think it should be done now.
No, sure. Yeah.
But it will be there.
Yeah, I mean, you can see White's pieces are looking quite good. Maybe you can just move the light square bishop one square as well, just line it up against the king, get it back on that diagonal. But it is a pawn sacrifice. To me, it looks like... I don't know if
I was just going to suggest this, actually, but then I thought, no, it will never happen. But, yeah.
OK, so we did see a temporary sacrifice from White and a whole flurry of tactics there. We don't have time to show it, but the queens have come off, a set of rooks have come off, and actually it's just level trades, apart from Black maintaining his extra pawn. The key reason for Jordan going for this is White has got the bishop pair. White has the 2 bishops. In return, Black has more knights. So still roughly level material. It's just about whether the bishops now compensate for Black's extra pawn.
And the winner of the tournament, Jan-Christoph Duda, has tweeted, "Mommy too? Boy, what's that mean?"
Mammy too. I'm not quite sure. So I guess well, if our viewers can help us out and tell us what Mammy too perhaps means.
Google Translate.
Then tweet us using Chess Champs and I will translate the message.
I'm going to bet this goes to Armageddon.
You think?
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyone want to have a little cheeky bet against that?
No,
So
because we were having a discussion earlier at lunch.
I Google translated.
Okay.
It means we got it.
Okay, we got it.
Got it. Yes, you got it. Jan-Christoph Duda, the winner of the tournament. These two are fighting for important prize money. So the winner in TieBreaks gets $5,000. The loser in TieBreaks gets $2,500. And prize money is what matters when it comes to the overall tour standings. By the end of the season, we will name a overall tour winner, the best online rapid player in the world. And it is important then to gain as much prize money as possible.
Yeah, and Duda, after this result, must be doing great in the tour standings overall. Also a previous finalist in one of the other events. OK, meanwhile, Black's knight jumping into the centre and White's rook coming out of the eye line of that Black knight. You might be right, Simon. This game might fizzle out towards a draw. Black does have this extra pawn, but more exchanges are inevitable. And, OK, Black's knight's dancing into the middle of the board. Will we see White's rook step up one square, capture that Black pawn in the middle? That looks very healthy to me, but it also looks like it might lead to a forced draw. So Liem, with 2 extra minutes on the clock, he's saying to Jordan, OK, let's just trade everything off the board. Rooks have now left. Now this Black knight attacking White's light square bishop. Also Black's light square bishop attacking the White knight in the centre.
Dead draw.
Dead draw.
Dead
and
draw.
I predict that Jordan is going to offer a trade of knights. No, he didn't.
Jordan may be playing for the win still.
Maybe, but the
Feels
problem
a bit
is
risky.
there's opposite colour bishops as well. It's very difficult for the knight and bishop to actually target a weak point.
Yeah, the Black knight I'm expecting to dance back now. It's done its job in the centre of the board. There we go. Actually, a huge threat in the position. The Black knight wants to jump down to the E2 square and check the White king, attack the White bishop at the same time. Either of those pieces needs to move. The White bishop or king needs to move right now to safe squares. That Black knight is just too strong, too dangerous.
Yeah, maybe you can... Yeah, the bishop does move in the end, so just... But what happens if you take the pawn here, then? Is there something...
I guess you also take the pawn. Oh, hang on, yeah.
Yeah, or White can do the same thing that Black just did, retreat the White knight maybe. OK, the Black knight under fire. Will we see it grab a pawn, but plant itself on an odd square? The pawn in front of the White king is up for grabs by that Black knight, and maybe you can get away with it. If Liem wants to win, he will capture that White pawn on the G2 square. No, he doesn't. He retreats, repeats the position. OK, this is the second time we've seen this position now. If the position repeats for a third time, it's a draw.
I predict draw incoming.
Okay,
No, Liem plays for the win.
They just want to keep on going. You know, I mean,
teasing us.
Liem has the advantage of White in the next round as well. So I mean, if I was him, I'd save the energy and go on to having the White pieces. I mean, you can't win this position at this level, really. Surely,
I mean, almost completely symmetrical, the pawn structure, and the opposite colour bishops. They're like ships passing each other in the night, balancing each other out. The knights will cancel each other out as well. Level material, no imbalance at all. This is about as drawish as it comes.
Yeah. I mean, even if one side wins a pawn, it's probably still a draw. That's the best you can hope for in a blue moon.
Maybe Liem decided not to repeat the position because look at the clock times. Black does have 2 extra minutes on the clock. Maybe that'll be a factor. Maybe Jordan will get nervous if he gets under 1 minute. The players only gain 3 seconds after every move.
So will he take the knights now? If he takes the knights, they can wrap up and get ready for the next game.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't capture the knight, he's still trying something.
Moment of truth. Will Black trade the knights? Will Liem go for the draw?
Yeah.
He didn't previously. He could play on here. Maybe he's calculating whether he can jump into the centre with his king. Now the Black Knight will fall, but if the Black Knight is captured, the White Bishop falls as well. So no trade. Jordan stepping back. Still the same dilemma. Knight trade or no knight trade. Liem, will he play for the win?
Well, there's a pattern here. Liem absolutely wants to squeeze out this position for as long as possible.
Keeps the knights on the board. Yeah, Liem is definitely the one trying to press. Look at the Black King. It's more active than its counterpart. White's king is okay in the centre, but Black's king is going towards that white pawn on the B file.
And I have to say, we have seen Jordan lose maybe a couple of positions he should have drawn in endings, especially yesterday when he's playing Mamajarov. And maybe Liem is well aware of that and just keeping a bit of pressure on. But it's the king, isn't it? The king is so active. Why not play? That is a good move, though.
Yeah, but, it's allowing Black to kind of go for the B-pawn.
Yeah, suddenly, look at the evaluation bar. It's gone up in Black's favour. Yeah. OK, Liem repeats the position first. This is the second time we've seen this position, but he's going to play for the win. He's going to either put the Black Knight on a different square, or he's going to go back where it came from. And, OK, this is the square I was expecting. As Ivanka says, at some point, Liem will make a dart with the Black King or Black Knight for that white pawn on the B2 square, which is very lonely, it must be said. OK, advancing now from Jordan. Still difficult to make progress. Black's pawn on that left side weak as well. And, OK, locking up the position.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that one. I actually thought that you could wait a little bit more. But OK, giving a check. Liem's still very much better. It's his pieces that are the ones that are putting White's forces under pressure.
I must say, I'm very worried for Jordan suddenly. The momentum's changed. Black's bishop can join the fun. Look how the Black bishop's lined itself up with the White King and with the White Knight. If the Black King moves now to the centre one square, Black will win.
This is a good move. I mean, I think he has to go a little bit passive here to control the squares the Black King can come into and get out of a possible pin as well. I mean, it's still a draw, but he's making it as hard as possible to get the draw, just with the activity of the pieces. Look at Black's pieces, look at White's pieces.
Look at that White Knight, completely locked in. That White Knight is totally, utterly dominated by that Black Bishop.
Knights on the rim are dim, knights on the, what do we call
it? Fall off the hedge.
Yeah, and what about this? Knights on the bottom of the board, I don't know.
They're on the edge.
It's still on the rim.
Oh, okay.
Guys, Knights on the first are the worst.
David!
Did you just think of that?
Yeah.
You're so sharp at
After
this time
5
of night.
hours.
I'm just warming up.
This is when he comes into his element.
Yeah.
So sort of,
Give me another 100-move game, guys. Come on, let's do this.
Let's go all the way to Armageddon. David is ready.
That was impressive.
Meanwhile, White is trying to distract the Black Army by pushing pawns, trying to trade off as many pawns as possible. That might bring safety, but that White Knight, it could just be out of the game, and it's completely locked in now. Set of pawn trades. Oh, it's so hard to win this position still because everything's disappearing, but he's doing a great job, Liem, of trying. The time disadvantage, though, that Jordan had, he's now up on the clock, and he's insisting on all the trades. The problem is if you trade the Black Knight for the White Bishop right now, Black's king can't creep into the position. Still no way through. If all the pawns disappear, dead draw.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking this is maybe the last-ditch attempt, but I do think that can be easily handled, maybe by pushing the pawn forward.
Swapping more off.
Swap everything off.
Yeah, forcing another final trade on the right half. The right half of the board has been completely obliterated. And, the vacuum cleaner is out. Everything just getting hoovered off the board now.
Liem will have the white pieces in Blitz game number 2.
Actually, he could have forced the draw immediately, actually, by capturing the knight.
Yeah.
And then sacrificing his knight. There we go. Here it is.
Yeah.
The first one is a draw between Jordan and Liem. Jordan had the white pieces in this one, and in 5 minutes, Blitz game number 2.